Okay, so let's continue. I had to interrupt the previous lesson, so I'm going through the lines now, and where I stopped, it was here. So in line number 4, in my form, I instantiated a label, I instantiated list box, scroll bar, I connected them. So you have to connect them both ways. So you see, if you instantiate scroll bar, that's how you connect to the list box. On the other hand, whenever you change your content in the list box, the scroll bar is supposed to also change. So you set up mutual relationship between scroll bar prefix scr and list box prefix lbx. And of course I placed them. I bind the event handler whenever my user changes the selection. You see, the amount per person is changing, but of course the tip and the total yet still the same. Finally, last row on my form, it's a label. It is another label. Because I'm going to work with this label, I need clones. Float variable to keep the price for one person, string variable to keep the content of my label. So I set up my label per person, and you see, so basically the majority of my coding is just a layout. So I instantiate widgets, I set up event handlers, I place them into the right cells on a grid, I establish connections. So this is kind of preliminary work we have to do before we start the actual coding. By the way, at the end of the constructor, I set my input focus into entry field. By default, it's not set up, so when my app starts, the user can see blinking cursor in the amount field and he can type any amount. Okay, event handlers. Entry field supposed to react on two events. When user press the return key, or if the user activates another widget outside entry field. In other words, if he leaves the entry field. They are similar. I mean, the processing is similar. There is only one difference between on return event handler and on focus out event handler. Because if you press enter, the focus doesn't go anywhere. You have to do that. So I do it here after user presses the enter key. I'm moving focus to the next widget, but other than that, they are identical. So what happens first? I have to validate what my user typed. If the result is negative, I print error message in the same field. But if the result is positive, I save it. The amount is good. And I call recalc. What recalc does, it recalculates everything on the form and it updates the labels. So on return event handler, almost the same as on focus out event handler. The only difference is this line, because I have to move my focus here. The focus already moved to another widget. Validator, now I'm using exceptions. Please review Python fundamentals. I recently uploaded short video on exceptions. So I have try except else statement. Why? Because this line is risky. It may crash my program. Let me write it down. And if it does happen, I go here, I save negative value as a result. If everything is good, the conversion is done nicely. I don't execute this part, I execute this part, but I also have to check if the amount is not negative or it's not too big. Anyway, validate amount returns good number or -1. Two event handlers attached to the buttons. First of all, when you click on the button, the focus not automatically transfer to that button, which kind of strange. So I do it programmatically myself. So whenever user click, I move the focus on my button so the user can use space bar to click. Then I'm checking because percentage cannot be higher than 100. So I'm right now talking about increment, about this handler. So I'm checking if I reach the limit, I'm not supposed to do anything. Or another thing which can block me, if I see in the amount error message, I return, nothing to do. But if everything is good, I increment percentage. I change, of course, the label as well. So I convert numeric percent to string percent. I add a character. And because my percentage changed, I call recalc. Recalc going to recalculate all the fields and update all the labels. The same way on percent dec working. Except, of course, I'm checking for 0. I cannot go lower than 0. Look, if I press minus, but I'm already at 0, of course, nothing changes. And obviously, if my field is not good, then it doesn't make sense to click anything. So only if this number is good, I may proceed. Finally, on select. So I get the selection I save it. How many people were eaten? Again, if amount is not good, nothing to do. I'm checking the amount only if it's good, then I can update the form. And finally, what recalc does, recalc is changing three. Remember, at the beginning of the analysis, I divided widgets into input and output widgets. So, a percentage widget is changed immediately when I press plus or minus, but recalc is changing tip, is changing total, and it's changing per person. So recalc is a must. So I multiply amount by percent, divide by 100, so I calculate the tip. So this is pure mathematics now. That's why I need clones. Behind the widgets, I need numeric variables. Then I format nicely the result. I update this label. Then I calculate the total, amount plus tip. I update this label, total. And finally, I calculate how much everybody is supposed to pay, line 168. I format and I update this label. So basically, we did, at the end of the course, review, recap. We built simple application to calculate tips, contributions people may do at the restaurant, and you see here many different widgets are working. Entry field, labels, buttons, select, boxes, and scroll bars. Only two widgets I covered in my course I haven't used in this app. I haven't used checkboxes and check buttons and radio buttons. So thank you very much for listening. Our course developing GUI apps with Python with TK interlibrary is finished, but don't go away, stay tuned. Usually every week I post 1, 2, sometimes 3 new video lessons. So I appreciate if you stay with me, you support the channel. All the best and keep coding. Take care.